You know who made it. You know who made it.
Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you guys can. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear. Let me. Can you hear me or not? I need to know. I think it's using, sorry, this is like, okay, this is my first stream ever. So I'm trying to figure everything out. And I think it's like not using the right camera. Let me see. Okay, good. You guys can hear me. Oh, you don't hear me. You don't hear me. Okay. I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, one. Maybe don't beat me. No, you can't. Oh my gosh, what? Okay, hold on. Let me figure this out. literally, you guys can't even hear.
You made it. You made it.
Okay. Okay, it does work. Okay, yay. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know. Some people are, if you can't hear me, maybe like leave the stream and come back. I don't know because I have like the stream playing and it is playing there. So maybe leave it. I did change some things in the settings. So I don't know if that would change anything, but try that. But yay, thanks for coming, everyone. How exciting. This is okay. Before we even get into anything, I have to just say, like, I'm so nervous. I hate this and love this at the same time. So, be patient with me. Your girl is learning. I've never used Stream Yards. That's what I was like, what am I even using? Is my sound okay? Is it clear? Like, is it fine? Let me know in the chat, please. I have a few things planned today, by the way. And also if you guys like want to throw out some things that you've seen in the news or things you want me to share my opinion on, always feel free. I don't think I have like a lot to talk about, but and I know it just really depends on if you guys enjoy it or not. But oh, you can hear me good? Okay, perfect. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I don't know why it's still not. That's really annoying that it's doing that, but um okay, anyways. I'm sure like as we go on, things will get better. But for right now, it's just like really awkward. Um it's perfect. Okay, yay. Thanks. Okay, awesome. So how is everyone? Thank you guys again for coming. How is everyone doing today? Um, I don't know if you guys are ready for this topic today. Like, I don't know if you guys have actually seen anything about this, but I have been kind of following this story for some time. It is actually let's watch the video. It's about a viral video. Um, and after the video went viral, some terrible things happened. So, also trigger warning for today's stream. There will be mention of unaliving. It won't be like the main focus or anything like that. And we won't go too much into it, but it's kind of like a part of the topic and it leads into another topic that leads into another topic. And as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Gooning and Kanye West, and they will connect to each other. Don't worry. Um, but let's get the video going. Sorry, I might be a little slow again because I'm like, where's everything? What do I do? Um, yeah, okay. I'm so excited that you guys came. That's so crazy. I'm still like amazed. Oh gosh. Oh, and look, I can put your little comments on the chat. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's perfect. Yay. Okay, let me start to present. The camera's still being weird, but whatever. I get like really fixated on things. So even though in my head I'm like, it's fine, like ignore it, I literally cannot ignore it. It's bothering me. But I'm going to try my best. Uh, 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 share screen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Let's do this. Hello. Why isn't it working? Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Okay. Yay, I did it. Okay. Um, so I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys have seen this video um or recognize this guy. Let me know if you do. But hi Andy. Hi. You're doing hold on. I'm like trying to get used to everything. Okay, you're doing great. My first chat ever anywhere for you, Queen. It's 2 a.m. here in Copenhagen. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh yeah, yeah. This will be saved to my channel. So if you don't see the full thing or like, I really do want to. Okay, before we get into everything, I really would like to stream like on a pretty regular basis. I wouldn't say like I want to stick to an exact sorry, that's my ice maker. I wouldn't say I want to stick to an exact schedule just because I have a weird schedule right now, but it is something that I would like to do a few times a week, and it's a lot easier for me. Oh no, not goon aside. Yeah. It's a lot easier for me. Also, I broke my nail. I'm so sorry. That's so ugly. But it's a lot easier for me to just get on here and talk to you guys instead of like having to like edit a video and I'm so bad at editing, honestly. If I could just talk, which is literally this, like just talking and then like it's there. That's my favorite thing. So yeah, it is so some of you know this video. Some of you know this video, but yeah, anyways, wrapping that up. Yeah. I hope to be able to do this more often. And yes, I know that like a lot of you are different places. I try to plan more for Eastern Standard Time, but I'm not even in Eastern Standard Time. So like right now it's like 6 o'clock for me. This is like kind of the latest or the earliest I could go today. But I'm hoping that like without having a set schedule, then I can just like hop online when I want to hop online. Sometimes I might be feeling a 2 a.m. stream, and 2 a.m. for me might be a good time for someone else. So you can always catch them later if you don't get it. But um, yes, okay. So we are going to be talking about gooning. I went on a deep dive of gooning and I'm so sad. I'm sad that it happened. I'm sad that I had to learn about that. But as I love to do, I have to share my sadness with you guys. We're friends. That's how we bond, actually. It's trauma bonding. Yes. And I'm going to maybe traumatize you a little bit, but it's for fun, right? Just a little bit of fun, right? Because we're here together and together we are stronger than if it was just me traumatized by myself. So thank you also. Um, but the goon iceberg, I love when you share sadness. I love sharing sadness too. I mean, I think all of us do. I think like you guys watch my stories because you kind of like being traumatized a little bit. um, we have a trauma bond. We do. We do. And the more traumatic it is, the stronger of a bond we have with each other. So, we're for lifers at this point. That's one way to spin it. Oh, I have a way with words. I can't with you guys. You guys are actually so funny. Um, okay. So let's get into it. This story again, trauma warning, trigger warning. There will be mention of unaliving, but we'll just jump into it and we'll skip over that part as quickly as we can. But so this guy on the screen is Nautica Malone. That's his name, Nautica Malone. Very interesting name. I felt like he could have done so much with his life with a name like that, but instead he chose to be a loser, and that's sad. I'm not familiar with Gooning, and I'm scared. Yeah. Yeah, I can't even lie. You should be. But Nautica basically went to what's it called? A bikini barista coffee shop, which is also the first time I've ever heard of this. Yeah, that is his government name, Nautica, which is crazy, right? That's a really like cool name, I think. Um, but instead he's actually, I don't even think people really know his real name. They just call him Goonlord. So there's that. But yeah, he went to a bikini barista coffee shop, which I just learned existed. And it's basically like a Hooters, but for coffee. So the girls are wearing, like bikinis or shorts. And in the video, you'll actually be able to see the girl that's filming. That's the manager. And you can see her outfit. She is clothed. It's not like they're naked, but I mean, it's supposed to be like the whole Hooters of it, like the sexual appeal to it. So Nautica, he is, I guess, a frequent visitor, and unfortunately, and this is okay. Let's actually just watch the video, then we can talk about it after. But this video went viral, and then his entire life changed, his family's life changed, a lot of people's lives changed after. So let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Just it's not long, so.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Call 911.
Okay, this video is not funny, guys, but it's not funny at all. But like his face changing, I have seen this video probably like 15, 20 times by this moment. And every time his face changes, I freaking cry.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable.
Like he really was shocked. But what you can't really see is that he actually the fear in his the fear in his eyes for real. He was like instantly afraid. But the crazy thing is, like, what did you expect? And if you don't know what's happening in this video, essentially he's driving up to the drive-through of this bikini barista coffee shop, and he's not wearing pants. His is just right. And because this woman that's filming, the manager, already went up to the car with the camera out, that makes me think that like he's known there. So it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think she was just going to be like, oh wow, that's nice? Like just and then for him to be like actually shocked, like I'm shocked that he's shocked about this response that he's getting, because you are naked from the waist down. That's crazy. You see his leg, yeah. Thank God the video, you can't see anything really, but so
Hi,
she
how are
recorded
you?
this.
Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Call 911.
So she recorded that, she posted it online, and it went viral instantly. And then bare assed on the car seat. Yeah. Yeah, like okay, wait. This is also what I'm saying. You need to leave. Every time she says it, I have to tell her, you need to leave. Like that's how she should have said it. But I know it's not a funny situation, guys, but it's hilarious. I can't help it. Does this happen a lot? Do you guys have a lot of these type of stores, or is it like even at a Starbucks, like people are driving through with their dangalangs out? That's crazy. Um, after this video, after this video, it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. But after this video, I mean, unfortunately, Unfortunately, it just really depends how you look at it. I'm someone that like I'm always gonna ride for victims, and you're someone that has been causing harm to people. Like you can't like just because someone works, I don't even care. Like he could have gone to a strip club. That doesn't mean that you get to do like anything you want and get to like show anything you want to these people just because they're signing up for a service. Like it's a service at the end of the day. You are not Garrett, like you're not signing up to have sex with someone. You don't get to show them your stuff. You don't get to harass them. So, like, unfortunately or fortunately, depending how you look at it, he later took his own life. Um, and then after a whole bunch of other stuff came out about him, like, it's actually a wild, wild story. Um, oh no. Okay. Yes, girl, when you're out at the park, oh my gosh, walking your dog, taking a jog? That's horrible. I'm really sorry to hear that actually. That's I mean, like, okay, I have lived in Toronto for a long time and like there's definitely things that happen, but I feel like it's not like just a constant, like you're always being bombarded with penises because that sounds horrible. I hate that. Um, oh no, I haven't seen that. That's not that's not good. You guys are you guys are my people for real. Because why would you say that? Why would you say that? Um, that's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. That is so traumatic. And like there is such like if you have been like in my Discord and you've kind of participated in my other streams in Discord, you know, we talk about this. We were talking about this a lot because we kind of started with the whole like child exploitation in Nickelodeon. That's how we started like streaming in Discord. And then we, you know, as we went on, we shared different things with each other. And this is just something that like women and femme presenting people have just faced. And it's like, yeah, before you're even of age of anything, like I definitely remember being like looked at in ways and talked to in ways that I felt like this isn't just like a normal conversation someone's having with me. And I'm like 10, you know, like you learn very quickly early on how people view you, even as a child. Like they do not care. A lot of these nasty, sick people, which is why I'm like, you know, unfortunately, fortunately, because on one hand, like he is a father, he has a kid and a wife, which is wild. Um, so I feel bad for his wife and I feel bad for his child. But it's also like, I don't like people like that. Like, that's just another person that's no longer able to harass people and traumatize people because I can't imagine like the people working at this barista shop, or I mean, it doesn't even have to be here, but walking down the street, as you say, like that's traumatizing for people. So, unfortunately, fortunately. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Mm. Like, no comment. Just out the subway window? Did it get chopped off? I'm so confused. Like into the train window from the platform? So, I don't know. I'm trying to picture it, but I'm like, what's happening? Um, that's ugh, gross. Okay, let's continue though, because that wasn't the end of the story. Um, oh, who is messaging me and where is it from? I don't know where that's from. But that's not the end of the story because afterwards, like I said, here, let me share this. Still trying to figure out. Oh, let me move that from what? I don't know. I don't know if I've had it. I don't know. Maybe. I like cheese. Or was that like a actually, I don't want to venture into whatever that means more. Let's just say that you mean literal cheese and yeah. But I wanted to take that off the other one off the screen because it's like traumatizing. But okay, let me share. I keep pressing the wrong button. Let me share my other screen. Okay, I need my phone to stop. Okay, perfect. Let me see if I can zoom in here actually. Oh, look at me. I'm so smart. Um literally like the easiest thing to do. I've worked in tech for 7+ years. Like I think I should be able to friggin' zoom in on a screen. But anyways, so yeah. So after that video went viral, obviously it got a lot of media attention. It went crazy on Twitter. That's where I saw it, and that's where like there people just kept updating, constantly updating about like what was happening. Um, and his brother actually is the one that found him. So I guess he like called his brother and told him his brother, like, I don't know exactly what he was saying to his brother, but he was telling him something. And then he was like, "Oh, come, like, come here. Like, I love you. Come here. Like, everything will be okay." I don't think his brother knew what happened exactly, but he was just could tell like something was wrong. And then after he found him in his car and he had taken his own life, and then there's like even you can find I had it, but I was like, I don't think we need to watch it. It's like the um what's it called? Police camera footage of them, not like when they found him, but like right after, because obviously like they're not going to show that part on like the body and stuff. But it got worse. He did leave a suicide note. So this was like something that like seems pretty planned out, even from him like going to the coffee shop with his stuff hanging out to then like it not going however he planned in his head, which is like I don't know what he thought was going to happen. I think it's a lot of like corn rot brain, honestly, where it's like you think you're living in a corno. I've never heard anyone say corno. Sorry. But you think you're living in a corn and you think that like I don't know everyone wants you and that like just because maybe someone's dressed a certain way, it's like the whole like, oh, the pizza girl comes to your door and she's wearing shorts, so that means you don't have to pay for your pizza, or like, you know what I mean, like it's stupid things like that. And I who are you? Meow. Listen, listen, behave. that that's all I'm gonna say, behave. Love the corno. The of my fave snack. I can't stand you guys. Okay. So back to being serious. Okay. So he did leave an apology, not apology, no, unaliving note. And he said, I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake. I don't think I'll be able to face you and the babies. I don't know if he had one or two kids. I saw that he had one for sure, but like everywhere I read said one, but he said babies, so I don't know. He said, I don't know why I drove through that. My mental has been effed up. I am not a monster. I apologize. And I love you forever. If I am in critical condition, please pull the plug. And then a note to his family, to all my family and friends, I love you and I'm so sorry. I love my kids and my family. Please forgive me. So obviously, like, yes, this person clearly was not okay. But at the same time, that does like I'm so tired of people using that as an excuse, and especially like a lot of the signs, and we'll get into more on why I feel this way so strongly, but I feel like there's a lot of signs that let me to believe at least that like this person has been enabled and showed signs of being, just inappropriate maybe. Um and like people don't take it seriously until they do something like this, and then if they do take their own lives, then we're supposed to feel bad for them. But it's like, I feel bad for people that are left here to deal with what he has done. He gets to like leave and doesn't have to take accountability for anything, doesn't have to face his wife, doesn't have to face his children, gets to just go. And then his wife is left to deal with how his kids are going to process that. The manager at the store is dealt with having people think that it's her fault, which there are people that are blaming the actual manager that filmed the video and posted it. They're blaming her for his death. So it's like, I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for everyone else that is left to hold the pieces together. So, what was the cafe manager going to press charges? Why did he go to such an extreme? Yeah, I don't know. Like in the video, you see or you can hear that she says, call the police. And again, because she's like approaching the car with her phone out, this is not something that they just do. It's not like every manager, every worker there has their phone out to record every single person going, because it's just a normal service, right? You're just ordering coffee from a pretty girl. Like, that's literally it. So her having the camera out just makes me think that like he's been a problem before, and that's why she was like, call the police. Like that's not appropriate. That's not acceptable. It's against the law to be indecent in public. Like, yeah, that is the saddest part for me too. Like, his whole family has to deal with that now. His kids have to grow up with a Goonlord as their father. God. I can't even say that. Yes. Like, what do you need? He was married. Like, he just had a kid in 2023. Like, you have a family. I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, yes, again, it's not, I don't want it to seem like it's like, okay, these people that might have like these kind of corn addictions, all they need is like someone to come into their life and then everything is fixed, because like his wife can't fix that. His wife could never fix that. That is something that he needed help with for himself. And I don't think that the most perfect relationship in the world was not going to fix that, because we see a lot of that where like a lot of people have sometimes corn addictions and they have partners and they don't partake in sexual relationships with their partners, but they'll turn to corn. So it's like, why are you choosing this fake thing over the real thing? But it's mental, right? It's something in their head, it's something that they need to work through. So even though he had a partner, it wasn't going to be enough. Yeah. Blaming her is actually just ridiculous. They blaming her because, it's always a woman's fault. It's always a woman's fault. Um, there was, okay, so I can't, oh, hold on, let me get it. Because there was also, can I open this here? Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. I'll just, okay. There was also this post that his mother left on Facebook, which insane. Here, let me hopefully you guys can see this properly. Okay, cool. So I could not, the person that posted this, obviously, like, they blocked out their names and everything. And I did find like the name of the mom and all of that to go find like more information about this post and if it was real and all of that. But I think it was deleted. So, but this is the post that his mom allegedly put up after everything happened. And it says, this is the blank that went up to my son's car and recorded this blank video that caused him to take his life. She invaded his privacy. She invaded his privacy by going up to his car. Please share the picture of this blank so that we can make her pay. Justice for Nautica, baby boy, your mom is fighting for you. I'm not going to rest until you have peace. Love you, my son. Gone way too soon. Let's make this girl pay, please. Everyone share this picture with all of your friends on here, on every social media platform. Thank you so much in advance for your help. So it's like, like, why? And this is what I mean by like, no one wants to put the blame where it's supposed to be, which is on him. He was the only person that decided to do what he did. He was in charge of his own reactions and his own actions. And he decided to go through that drive through that day, no pants on, nothing on, have his whatever in his whatever, and pull up thinking with a big ass smile on his face, mind you. A big ass smile was on his face. And that's why it's so funny how quick it dropped, because as soon as he got called out for it, as soon as someone's bringing attention, like, that's not appropriate, like, get out of here, then it's the saddest face ever. I can picture it in my head. It's funny. It's not funny. But it's funny. But like, this is what I mean by like enabling, because like, how dare you? How dare you try to put the blame on the woman that works at a coffee shop that is just doing her job and trying to not be harassed every day by a freak? Like, and then on top of that, in the police report, her and like some of the other family members, they went to the coffee shop and they had to call the police on them there because they said that they were being very aggressive because they want justice. But it's like, there's no justice to be served here. Like, the justice would have been like, oh, I want justice. I want your son to pay for what he did. Your son decided to take his own life and do what he needed to do, where he thought he had to do in order to face the consequences of his own actions. Like, go deal with that. And I understand, like, I can only imagine the pain that she feels because that's her son. But at the same time, like, you have to be real as a parent. You have to be real as a parent. You can't be putting blame on other people because other people will go and, like, there are a lot of people in this world that are looking to blame women for everything and anything, and especially when it comes to um anything that they perceive as sexual, right? So like, she deserves it. Like, how dare you work in the shop and look this way and then not want to have sex with me? Like, they feel like they're the victims in that situation, which is crazy to me, but they really do feel like they're the victims there. So I just, for me, I'm like, you're 100% part of the problem is you, because I'm sure that this didn't happen overnight. And instead of looking at your son and being honest about what is happening, you were like, he's perfect, right? My baby boy, we're going to get justice for you. Like, disgusting, disgusting. Um, let me stop sharing that. Let me catch up on some of the comments because I was kind of rambling there. He probably has a voyeurism fetish and didn't know how to manage or fulfill that consensually. He could have, yeah. And I think like it's also like, I don't know. We all have access to the internet, right? Like, we know that we can go and Google services, find services. So like, yes, I'm sure that is like a reason for him, because there is also a lot of stigma that comes with using sex workers, right? There's a lot of people that would rather get it non-consensually than pay someone. Like, which is insane to me, but there's a lot of people that would just rather do that. So like, that is something that is real. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad for him at all. It's, yeah, definitely. I think he's done this before, and this was the first time it was caught on camera. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that he is used to doing things like this because he was so brave and confident to do it. I can't get over that smile. Like, the smile was just so big. He was so happy in that moment. And he probably also, like, yeah, if he does have a voyeurism fetish, then he was enjoying even like the shock of her, right? Her being shocked was like, ooh. Um, yeah, what do you know about what? What do I know about the gooning asshole? Or I don't know what you're saying. Okay. um, it's always the worst man whose mom talks about him like this. I bet you all know someone that their mother would swear up and down that they're an angel. They're an angel. My son would never. My son would never. hmm He did not pull up first. No. Um, invaded his privacy while he went there with, yeah. Yeah, she invaded his privacy in the car because I guess I don't know. He had the right to be in his car. First of all, you can't be in your car naked. Like, you will be registered as a sex offender if that's what you do. So you can't. Yeah, I know. Like, what's wrong with these people? I do too. I do too. I mean, I think it's deeper than that because I don't want to just blame that, because I think it's like a very big issue. And we're going to get into it because it's horrible. Actually, let me get the next part ready because it gets actually I can't even believe how wild this story gets, because that already is like a lot, but somehow it gets worse and worse and worse each time. Um, he was a repeat offender. Yeah. We love a rambling queen. Okay. It's my specialty, a ramble sesh. Tell tells you how powerful shame can be in our culture, especially, yeah. And that's like, that is, I think, a big part of it. Like, people should not feel shamed about how they're feeling and what they're going through. Obviously, like, even there are things that people are struggling with that no one would want to ever admit, but it's worse to keep them hidden than to talk about it. Because when you talk about it, at least that opens the conversation for people to offer help if they can help, for people to share, for people to give you suggestions so you don't have to do things like this. Um, but that is society, we shame everything. You can't do anything without people wanting to make fun of you or thinking that you're like a horrible, disgusting, or like you can't, you some like if you use sex workers, then that means somehow that like you're the most unfuckable person in the world and no one wants you. Here it is, he was married, he had kids, someone wanted him, he's not an ugly person. He's not ugly. Like it's just this hold that people have, especially around sex work and especially around like just sexuality in general. Like you're not allowed to just like, unless you're doing everything exactly like this, then you can't really go off the course of anything. Otherwise, people will judge you. Think of the worst man you know. He's a he is actually, yeah. The worst man I know is a man. Crazy how that works. Mhm. Yeah. Homie should have started an OnlyFans. Honestly, yeah, honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like, I don't know. It is what it is, but let's get to the next part of this. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna take a very quick break because I need to blow my nose. So give me 1 second.
You know who made it. You know who made it.
Okay. Are we good? You guys can hear me? I can't tell. This camera is pissing me off. And I don't know why it won't save. Oops. My camera settings. Hmm. I think I have to like ask it permissions again, and I can't remember how to do that in Chrome. To ask like permissions for a specific web page, if anyone knows that, because I'm pretty sure that's why it's not working. Yeah, you guys can hear me again? Okay, cool. I'm just going to try something really quickly because I don't want to continuously be annoyed. And you can tell. If you can't tell, I get annoyed easily. Everything annoys me. Privacy and security, maybe. Oh, here. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. Okay. We're still here. Cool. I was like really scared. Yeah, thank you, Chris. I did find the settings. It's still like not working properly, but I'll have to fix it next time before we go live because I don't know how to do it here. So, sorry. Now the options aren't even there. And it won't let me have my background anymore. Oh my gosh, I ruined everything. You see, I should have just left it alone. I just made it everything worse. Everything was, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was okay. Now everything's bad. Ugh, gosh. How rude. I can't believe I did that to myself. Disappointed in myself. Anyways, we'll just continue. And then I don't know what happened. It was whatever. Anyways, we'll just continue how it is with my ugly green screen. Ugh, now I'm like so annoyed. I hate the color green. Okay, I don't hate the color green, but I don't like this color green. I like for like a deep, deep, deep green. Yeah, that's my favorite green. Actually, like my whole living room is green, so that was a lie. I don't hate the color green, but this green is ugly. It's rude. Oh, thanks, but I hate it still. Just like I'm not trying to be happy about it, so I can't lie. Okay, we'll just continue. Also, I'm like squinting. I wear glasses normally, but I have my contacts in, and the longer this stream goes, the more I'm going to squint because they're going to get drier. But we're good. We're good. Let's continue. Let us continue because we have this mess. So let me share my screen. Oops. Okay. Okay. Let me put this here. Okay, so after we'll fix it in a post. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm gonna make a couple of you mods, Andy, if you don't mind. If anyone wants to be a mod, just let me know. And then yeah, if we could like if anyone wants to help me later on to fix everything, I don't know why I didn't like I literally like tested everything on my own end, but I should have like had like a test live, but anyways, we're here now, so we'll figure it out later. But I'm gonna make you don't know how to make you a mod right now. Okay, I think I have to do it from YouTube. I can't do it from Streamlabs, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, let's continue. So, okay. So after this guy, everything happened, the video went viral, he took his own life. A whole bunch of I mean, I would call them kids in my personal opinion. These look like kids to me. Maybe they're like late teens, early 20s. They look like children though. Oh. Okay, I was like, huh? But I'm glad you got it fixed. But a whole bunch of these kids went to the coffee shop and had a memorial service for the Goonlord. This is real life. This is real life. I'm gonna play that back because I don't know if you guys could hear. He said, "Hallowed be thy dick."
Our Nautica, the largest bikini beings tempting Arizona. Hallowed be thy day. Thy kingdom come, thy will be served, on earth as it is in certainty. Deliver us from the good side. Amen. Amen. When I say his name, you say Nautica. Say his name. Nautica. Say his name. Nautica. Say his name. Nautica.
I don't even have words. I literally don't have words. What is this? Bro, if I saw my child, my brother, my cousin, someone I just knew, was I would have to grab them up, drape them up, and pull them away because what is wrong with you? Then we have to ship you somewhere because something is wrong. We have to ship you away. I don't even know, like, what is this? This is fatherless behavior. Yeah. Women are always getting crap for fatherless behavior. This is fatherless behavior. Do any of these children have fathers? Because what in the world? First of all, my parents would never, ever, ever, and if they ever saw that no one would see me again. I'd be locked away somewhere. So, like, you feel okay to do this? Where are your parents? Where's anyone? You don't have anyone in your life that has shame? I'm ashamed for you. This is disgusting. And outside of, like, this memorial in general is disgusting, but outside of the coffee shop where that man was harassing women, like, he's not a victim. Like, and then those women are in there having to know that, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, teenagers or young men out there that are like, oh, poor guy. He passed away because of these B words, probably is what they think. I don't know what these children think, and I don't really want to. Ugh. More like motherless behavior. I don't know. I think it's fatherless behavior. I doubt none of these children have mothers. I would more suggest that they or assume it is an assumption, but I would assume that they don't have fathers in their lives, or they might have both parents and they're just not involved. I mean, you can have two parents in your household, but if they're not involved with you as a person, you could still end up a goon. I'm gonna try to be serious as I say these things, but it's like ridiculous. How many of them posting it on TikTok for the clout? Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of them that were just like, I went to the Goon Memorial, you know? And I also agree with this. I do think that they're privileged. I don't think that these are actually like struggling. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea who these people are. They could have really horrible lives at home. They could have the best lives ever at home. I don't know. But if I'm just gonna look at them and judge, it doesn't look like a guy that's able to like screen print a t-shirt overnight or in a couple of days is probably not someone that's like struggling really, really hard at home, like you're probably at least are like stable enough. You know what I mean? I don't even know, guys. These are the same motherfuckers that say women that say a woman was asking. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's absolutely these type of people. I would be worried that a bunch of dudes were in a mob outside. Oh, yeah. Hello. Uh, yeah, so actually what happened was they only got to do that for like 20 minutes, they said, and then someone called the police and the police came and removed them. Because yeah, what do you think you're doing? Um, but it's disgusting. Literally, they would all be on a do not. Yes. Yeah, I do think that like something, I don't know. I don't know because of like at the same time like do I want like I don't know if they're like 17, do I want a 17-year-old that's just stupid? Because the gooning thing, and we're going to get into it shortly. The gooning thing started as a meme. Like it wasn't serious at all. Um and now you are hearing about certain people that are taking it to real life that makes it serious. So it's no longer like there are some people that use that term and I don't think that they're like, you know, assaulting people or harassing people. They just think it's stupid and funny. But then there are people like this where it's like when you mix in either you have a problem and you really do believe in the things you're saying, or you're there for clout because that is what everyone is doing these days. Everything is about clout. Everything is about, I need to be seen. I want my followers up. And going to an event like this, you're definitely going to get a lot of views. Or are you just really sick? Like I don't know what the difference is. So it's like, I don't know. But at the same time, like you should not be able to just do whatever you want and have no consequences to this. I mean, the smallest consequence is that like you're recording yourselves and we all see you for who you are and you're disgusting. So what would you even say? I went to a vigil for someone who drove through I know. I know. What do you even say to that? Like, gooning, not goofing. It's a, okay, yeah, you got it, yeah. It's a movement. I feel like it's turning into like, unintentionally turning into like an incel movement. And maybe it's like a subcategory of incel. I don't know. But it's definitely real. There's a lot of people that are self-proclaimed gooners. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, I hope so too. That's the least that can happen. Um, but let's get to the next one. Mm-mm-mm. My gosh, it's been an hour already, and I was like, this topic might go by so fast, but it's me. I'm just a yapper. My gosh. Um, Actually, we don't even need to really look at this next one. It's just another. It was just another post of more people that went to. Well, okay, actually, we'll look at it really quickly just so you can see how many people were there. Because in that first video, you can. I mean, obviously, there's a decent amount of people there, but you can't really tell how bad it is. Um, Let me. Hmm. Okay. This is a lot of. And they're saying goon in peace. Goon in peace. Goon in peace. Very incel behavior. Goon cells. Is that what they actually probably call themselves that already? Like, I would not be surprised. Unemployed kids with no purpose in life, addicted to the dopamine of clout, and with a ton of free time in their hands, the mix of lack of empathy and purpose in this generation is worrying. Absolutely. Um, Caldo, hopefully I said that right. I could not have said it better myself. I think that, like, this is also why I really wanted to touch on this topic. Like, yes, I think that a lot of things are low key a little funny. Um, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's very worrisome. And I feel like this is like when people started to talk about like incels and manifestos and all these things, and people were like, "No, that's just internet culture. That's just a meme. Like, no one's really like that in real life. No one hates women in real life. Hello." How many people have to lose their lives at the hands of these people before we start taking things like this seriously? And unfortunately, with the direction everything is going, I mean, it just seems like so many things like bigotry, misogyny, anti-Semitism, a whole bunch of things. Like, there's just everything you could ever think of that's not good has increased in a very, very short amount of time. And there are a lot of people like these kids who probably are pretty privileged. Not pretty. They don't have pretty privilege, sorry, but they're pretty privileged. But there's a lot of these kids that think it's funny. They think like now it's cool to like listen to Hitler's speeches. There are people on Twitter that are posting speeches and quotes from Hitler, and it has hundreds of thousands of likes. Right? It's not just like, oh, it's this little internet thing where no, fascism is absolutely on the rise. No, not a single woman is in that crowd. Yeah, in your own home. Goon in your home, where gooning is supposed to happen, I guess. We called it the gooneral, like the general. It's ridiculous. We're at the quiet part, out loud part of fascism. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, like it's happening. And everyone's just like, no, it's not that serious. It's just TikTok. We ban TikTok, then it gets rid of all the problems. When TikTok's gone, everything will be fine. Like, no, these people exist. right? And not to say like every single one of these people has like a hate in their heart or hates women or hates blah, 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 but they're so impressionable. And like Caldo said, like they're willing to do these things. It's a mixture of those things. It's a mixture of the clout that they receive. It's a mixture of the dopamine that they're getting from receiving the clout, right? Like all of us, we are always on our phones. Not always, maybe, but like we spend a lot of time on our phones and like, yeah, you get dopamine. Now imagine like you're getting likes and views and sometimes money from doing horrible things, from harassing people on the streets, from bothering people. Like that's what's popular now. So they don't really have boundaries for themselves. And while we're like, oh, this is a problem, they're just like, it's not that serious. It's just for clout. Like it's just clicks. It's just the internet. And it's so much deeper than just the internet.
Our Nautica, born in Bikini Beach, Tempe, Arizona. Hallowed be thy name.
Oh, this is the same video. Another. It's like they're laughing. Like they think it's funny. They really do think it's just like a joke. I don't know. I would just be so disgusted. Look, there's a I think that's a girl. I think maybe
Even the security has to stay.
you can't tell, but looks like it could be fun. Yeah. Like who girl? What are you doing? Go home, run away. What is she doing there? I think it's also parasocial. Like there's no discernment between internet behavior and intrapersonal. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's like the lines are no longer drawn, you know. I don't really know if there ever were like definite lines, but now it's very much like everything is in reality. Everything is all it's all the same, right? Like there are some people that are living in reality, which is usually what I say. I'm like, we're living in reality. Like this is what's actually happening. And we understand like right from wrong. We understand like there are boundaries. We understand that like, yeah, the internet can be funny and a fun place, but that doesn't mean that you can just do anything you want with a camera in someone's face just because it's for the internet, right? But there are people that are not only like changing, like their brain patterns are changing to believe that these things aren't like there's no limits and that there's no boundaries, but also like I think about these kids that are being born into this culture of like your parents are vloggers, maybe your parents have had cameras in your face since you were born. You will think that's normal. If you have had a camera in your face since you're born, you will not think anything is wrong with then going outside and putting cameras in everyone else's faces because that's normal for you, right? So it's like there needs to be more lines. There needs to be laws. In my opinion, there needs to be more laws, but she does look lost. She looks kind of scared. But listen, no one's a victim here. You all willingly went there. Ugh. And like they have this was the poster that they made for him. Oops, okay. The last goon. Rest in peace, Goonlord, the last goon. I can't. Anyways. Okay. So that's all I want to share for like the story itself. But I thought, you know, because I'm also new to this term gooning and all of that, I was like, let's get a better understanding of what gooning actually means. So there are a bunch of videos out there, but I did find one that was relatively short. And I just watched like a bit of it just to make sure that it made sense and that it wasn't like weird to play. Let me get that started. Yes, they used to. That's also the crazy part. Like, they used a screenshot of him from the video. Is that not really weird? Like, on top of, like, already it's a very weird situation, but, like, okay. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I don't. I can't with you guys. Okay, let me close some of these tabs. I have too many tabs. Too many tabs open. Okay. Okay, cool. I want to thank you guys again for coming. Like, it actually means so much to me that you guys are here and that you guys are like enjoying so far and participating in the chat and it just means so much. Thank you. Um I also love mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are really good. I haven't had mashed potatoes though, like in a very I can't even remember maybe like the last time I had mashed potatoes. It's not something I have often. And I do like to like just like boil my potatoes or put them in the air fryer, you know. But we're just talking about gooning, unfortunately. But we're going to, if you don't know what that is, we're going to actually get into a video right now of what gooning is. Gooning is the disturbing world of gooning. Air fryer is so real. I love my air fryer. Like, I probably don't even use my oven that often unless I have to like bake something. Or I have company, that kind of stuff. But if it's just me, I'm one person. All I need is an air fryer with brown gravy. Like trying like beef gravy. I don't know. As one does. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you guys so much. Okay, we are going to watch this.
On January
Just prepare yourselves. One of the first dates was a mashed potato date in middle school. That's so cute. That's really cute. A mashed potato date. I'm going to keep that on screen because what we're about to hear is not pleasant. So this is a little wholesome to add to the unpleasantry.
January 10th, 2025, a clip of a man pulling up to a barista in Tempe, Arizona started going viral on Instagram and Twitter. In the clip, the man is calmly asked if he's been to this drive-thru before, but what happens next is diabolical.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Call 911.
The man's name was Nautica Malone, a 27-year-old who frequented Bikini Bean Coffee, a coffee shop where women dress semi-nude to attract more male customers. If you start to deduce this clip, you can make some assumptions about this interaction. It's obvious Nautica did something like this before or was trying to be pantless in secret around the shop because the barista already had her phone out before he even pulled up. Now, where he was doing it before is unknown. Maybe he was just chilling in a parking spot next to the shop, getting his dirty on while he watched the employees from a distance and they finally caught on. But what we do know is what tragically occurred following the event. After the clip started exploding on social media, it was reported that Malone unalived himself a couple days later, prompting the hashtag Goonacide to start trending on Twitter. But that is not even the worst part of all of this. The worst part is that Nautica Malone was married with a wife and kid. It's never funny when someone takes their own life. Was this guy a creep? Absolutely. But no sane man who has a wife and children would ever think to commit public indecency the way Nautica did that day. And that indicates something more concerning was going on. While there have been instances in the past of men committing similar acts in places like Bikini Bean, this particular story sheds light on a dangerous level of hypersexuality that is quietly plaguing the minds of men who are hooked on adult content. Gooning. So let's peel back.
Sorry, that graphic was crazy. It also worries me because it's one of those situations where the more attention that's brought to it, the more awareness, but then the more celebrated these people become. And then it's like, because I haven't heard of these, like I said, I haven't heard of the bikini, what's it called? Bikini barista places. I haven't heard of those places before. And after reading into this story, there was a lot of situations at places like this with people, like someone said, like pouring hot coffee or like taking photos. Like there was a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was just like, I've never heard of these things. And I'm someone that's like, pretty online, So for this to be like one of the first stories, it's like not only it's one of the first stories, but he's being celebrated. That's the scariest part for me. Like, why is anyone celebrating this man? The bikini baristas scare me. There was one in my town where the girls' schedules were on the window for the customers to see. That sounds really bad. Why would they do that? I feel like, especially in those kind of situations, you need to have even better protocols to protect the women that work there, everyone that works there. What? Yeah, you can't have a Hooters style sexy servers restaurant with a drive-through. This is not a well thought out idea. The drive-through is the issue. Yeah. Because at least when someone comes into your shop, like of course things can still happen with that, but at least that person is in your store. You do have more control of the situation, especially if there's more of you working there. You can get security, all these things, right? Like, but the fact that like someone can just like come up with their car and then drive away, there's too many things that can happen between that time. And you just don't know, like this person literally, like this guy did. And it could have been worse, right? It could have been worse. He could have not just been like showing himself. He could have had something in his hand, a different thing, a weapon. He could have, there's just so many things. It's like, I don't know. I feel like, again, like for these kind of services or businesses, the same way that like strip clubs, I mean, obviously strip clubs are different everywhere, but a lot of strip clubs have very serious rules, like very strict rules where you can't do certain things and you will be kicked out very quickly if you do those things. And I feel like, no, like, a bikini barista is not a stripper, but at the same time, because of the world we live in, there are people that look at them like strippers. There are people that look at them like corn stars. So it's like you have to put in those protections. Yeah, like yeah, at least you would have to go inside. Yeah. Some people have compared that part to strip clubs. Yeah. Okay. I guess it's like, yeah, so like when the girl you like is working. But then it's like, okay, then you have to take the same precautions as strip clubs then, in my opinion. Like if that's how you want it to operate and you want it to be like obviously you're playing into like the sexual fantasy of like a sexy girl in sexy clothing or little to nothing serving you coffee. If you're playing into that, then you have to take the precautions.
The foreskin on this internet slang, oil up, and thrust our way. So let's peel back the minds of men who are hooked on adult content. Gooning. So let's peel back the foreskin on this internet slang, oil up, and thrust our way through the disturbing world of gooning. There's a lot of...
Are you ready to peel back the foreskin?
Misconceptions about what gooning means because most people on the internet see it as nothing more than a funny meme. If you're like me before I did research for this video and I have no idea what wrong turn I made in my career to get to the point where I'm talking about the subject of gooning, you might have heard the word goon and thought to yourself, that's that funny word for pleasuring yourself, right? If you're unk status, you might think I'm referring to a stupid, foolish person or thug. But neither of those definitions fully capture the essence of gooning. Gooning is an activity in which a person repeatedly pleasures themselves right before the point of climax to reach a sexual trance of pure ecstasy. A goonlightenment, if you will. If you're on social media often, you might think this sounds a lot like gooning's right-hand man, edging. But there's a key distinction between the two. While edging is the act of pleasuring yourself to the point right before you climax, gooning is doing this so many times to the point where you purposefully put yourself in the same state that SpongeBob and Patrick found themselves in when they turned on the Orb of Confusion.
Take this!
No joke, the term edge maxing might be the best word to describe what gooning is. The term...
I learned so many things that I miss the person I was before I went down the rabbit hole. Like edge maxing. First of all, like they always put maxing at the end of everything. Everything is maxing now, right? So like there's probably pretty maxing. I think actually there is, because there's like one for like men, like to be more attractive, something maxing. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it all. I hate it all, but I also can't stop. I have a problem.
term really gained popularity in 2024 thanks to memes on social media, as searches for the word gooning rose 314% that year. But the earliest known online mention of gooning as we know it predates all the way back to 2006, where the first definition was created in Urban Dictionary. Also, I love the example sentence they used here. There I was, stroking for hours, and I was into the goons so deep that a bomb could have gone off next door, and I would not have noticed. How can you talk about this topic seriously when memes and sentences like that are what people think of when you hear the word gooning? But we need to start taking this seriously, because this is where it starts to get really disturbing. The very act of gooning itself calls into question the mental health of the people participating in it. I mean, it literally requires you to spend hours of your day reaching a pre-climax nirvana, causing any of your brain's logical reasoning to temporarily shut off. The real reason I'm making this video will be revealed soon, but first, let's see what the extreme ends of a gooning addiction looks like. That's right, we're headed to r/goon caves. r/goon caves was a subreddit full of people taking the sexual obsession of gooning to another level. On the subreddit, users would post pictures of their goon caves, a term used to describe an entire room dedicated to gooning. The rooms usually consisted of multiple computer screens, sometimes up to 10 at once, all playing adult content at the same time. Goon simp on 6th hour of shameless pumping. Windows open so neighbors probably heard the goon grunts by now. Love the
I don't even. Okay, let's go. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what do you mean? Your neighbors heard the what would she, let me know in the chat, guys. What would she do? Let's see, what's today? Wednesday. It's a Wednesday evening, you're at your laptop, you're maybe finishing up some work, right? Or maybe you're watching your favorite anime or TV show, and then you hear gooning. You hear goon grunts. I don't know what that sounds like. I'm not gonna try to imitate it. Move. I think you would have to move. I think I would have to move. Honestly, I'm not living beside a gooner. You think I'm gonna stay by a gooner? I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe just knowing these people exist. You want me to live by one? Okay, you contact law enforcement and say what? I heard goon grunts. Please, you can't. You can't say it. Mind your business. I feel like this is honestly what most of us would actually have to do. You would just have to mind your business and pretend that that's not happening, you know? But yeah, that's disgusting. 6 hours. Okay, anyways, let's continue. I can't.
Vert Bader Life. Ultimate Collection Update, 21 terabytes. Work trip requires a hotel goon cave. Hello.
21 terabytes of corn. I don't even know how big that is, but I know it's a lot. That's crazy. That's actually very scary.
Hello, fellow gooners. First time poster, long time lurker. Had my first goon session in about 5 months last night. Felt better than ever. Up the ante with 7 screens, my most ever, a new bottle of poppers, and a type of adult content I'm not even going to consider reading out loud. Reading through these types of posts might make you chuckle initially, but when you really think about what these people are doing, it makes your stomach queasy. I made the mistake of eating yogurt while writing this section of the script, and that was just a miserable decision. 5 years after its creation, r/Goon Caves was banned from Reddit due to violations of its policies against non-consensual intimate media, but there are several gooning subreddits that still exist to this day. This is just the tip of the iceberg of a growing part of chronically online horny men and women who are at the mercy of adult content. And I promise you.
Okay, yeah, I was like pausing too much, so I was like, let me not pause it again. But 7 screens? Like 7 different pieces of corn was playing at the same time and they're watching it? How can you even focus? That's crazy. 7 screens? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love Reddit. I really, really love Reddit. I think it's like probably one of the best platforms just because of the variety of topics and conversations and all of that that you can have. And I think it's a really good platform, but I do think that like it's like the next one up to like from 4chan. You know what I mean? Like unfortunately, Reddit is good because it's about how you use it. So if you want to use it for like, I follow a lot of like reality TV shows on there. I follow a lot of like am I the asshole and things like that. People sharing advice, people talking about their life situations, but it's how you use it. And unfortunately, there's also a lot on Reddit where it's just a bunch of people that don't really have a lot of connection with like in real life people or like the outside world. They need to touch grass, as we say. But they're then like just constantly on the site and around or talking to in conversation with other people that are like that also, that encourage them to be like this. And Reddit is like not the greatest when it comes to removing communities. I mean, I'm surprised that that community was removed because I know that it's probably more recent that it's happened because I think they did get a little more strict, but there was a good amount of time where you could just go and find like the most misogynistic, like you can go post people, um, yeah, just disgusting in so many ways.
It gets much, much worse than this. So why am I really talking about this? Just to have a laugh? No. I'm talking about this because it highlights a growing phenomenon within our culture, leading to more and more people spending hours of their day gooning. The constant desire for more stimulating adult content. Dr. K on the Healthy Gamer YouTube channel has a great in-depth video on the science of gooning, but I'm going to paraphrase what I think is the most important part of that video. You see, when you partake in gooning, you are intentionally increasing the intensity of the climax through an abnormal amount of stimulation. We can plot what this looks like on a graph, which has the threshold to climax on the y-axis and the amount of pleasure/stimulation on the x-axis. As you start to pleasure yourself, you are about to reach the normal threshold, but then you stop, aka you edge. If you continuously do this over hours, your threshold for climax starts to increase with it, and chasing that peak leaves you in the delirious state heavy gooners report themselves reaching. While Dr. K says the consequences are still unknown, and while that might be true solely for the act of edging a bunch of times in a row, what I think matters more is what it leads people to start searching for. If you are gooning daily and you constantly need more stimulation to reach climax or goonlightenment, you will inevitably have to keep increasing the amount of stimulation.
Goonlightenment is crazy. I hate that this is a thing. I mean, yeah.
You need to achieve that. In other words,
Or at least there should be, I don't know. I just feel like there could be so many more safeguards in place, for kids and young people, but that's just the internet in general. I feel like they don't really care.
it's just regular stroking to regular stuff ain't going to cut it anymore. You're gonna need more. In the same way that a drug addict will have to increase their dose to feel the same effect they did when they first started taking the drug, a hardcore gooner will have to find weirder and nastier fetishes to goon to reach the level of climax that they used to be able to reach from very average adult content. I genuinely believe that this is where most people's very strange sexual fetishes are now stemming from. They are stemming from a society that gives them unlimited free access to any type of adult content that they want. And so comes the real reason I'm making this video, to bring awareness to what is causing serious mental health issues and disturbing addictions amongst not just adults, but now young children too. Hypersexuality. Almost everything within our culture is more promiscuous and sexual now. Kids are being influenced by all these types of terms and memes more than you think, and with their curious minds are exposing themselves to things they should not have access to until they reach adulthood. I don't think anyone can deny that sexual education is important, and talking to kids openly about what sex is important. But it's important to discuss those things to protect children from the dangers of adult content addiction, not to expose them to it freely. Social media frequently promotes sexual content the most, which creates a feedback loop between algorithms, consumers, and the creators. A creator sees that when they post more promiscuous photos, they get more engagement. Posts with more engagement get fed to more people in the algorithm. Thus, more people, specifically young kids, are getting thrown more and more sexual content than ever, while social media creators get rewarded for starting those kids' addictions early. So much of our culture now revolves around taking advantage of our lustful instincts for profit. And the things I've heard and seen from young men on the internet who have shared their stories of addictions haunts me. Took me less than 30 minutes after starting the script to find a comment from a kid who says he edges to anime adult content. And this is way more common than you think. This isn't even the bad stuff. So think about a young kid who is already into pleasuring himself.
You need to leave. Froggy. Why would you say that? That's horrible. Bring back uriners. What is this? Oh my gosh, get this child's face off. That's great.
To
Hate
stuff
that.
like that at
Oh,
such a
he's
young
sad,
age. If he does
too.
it frequently enough,
Gosh.
he's eventually going to need to keep increasing the freakiness if he wants to get the same amount of pleasure he once got from anime girls. That is how gooners are created, and that's what we'll keep seeing more of if young kids continue to have unrestricted access to sites like this. But why does it matter, other than the fact that it's an addiction and it takes up so much time, which are both valid reasons on their own? It matters because of the catastrophic mental consequences that come with it. The awful erectile dysfunction when faced with real-life sexual interaction. The amount of pleasure it takes to get enough serotonin and dopamine to be happy when you're addicted, which makes any other activities that should naturally be pleasurable to you miserable. The increased risk of depression, social anxiety, and isolation, and the risk of becoming someone like Nautica Malone. Exhibitionistic disorder, a mental health condition characterized by
Being the face of Gooning is actually crazy. Like, everyone's like, don't be a Nautica. I don't want to be a Nautica. And I would never want to meet a Nautica in my life. It does, yeah. Yeah. Like, there's so many things you have to worry about. He's the goon guy now. He is going to be known as that. That's how he's going to be remembered. And how sad. And like for him, whatever, he's not here, But his wife, she has to see that your husband was the face of Gooning, which is typically like something, because when I first heard of Gooning, I thought it was really about um like young, like what he's saying, like kids, right? Like teenagers, maybe very young adults. He was like 27. You're the face of Gooning and you're 27. Increasing the freakiness, yeah. I mean, essentially that is it. Like I mean, even before like this gooning stuff, right? It was like a lot of people would watch corn and then they would have to go to more extreme corn to continue to get off because the regular corn wasn't doing it for them. It's the same. No one's going to name their kids Nautica ever again. Well, maybe a goon. A goon might. A goon might name his son Nautica in remembrance of the great one. Dr. Goon. Okay, let's finish this.
current non-consensual exposure of one's genitals to others is officially recognized in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I'm sure there's people who develop this disorder from childhood trauma or neglect, but I'm willing to bet that most people who do so because of the influence of online adult content. Nautica Malone is not a victim. What he did was foul, and hell, he might not even fit the definition of a gooner. But from his story, it sounds like he found himself succumbing to lust produced by the internet to the point where it completely rewired his brain and destroyed any sense of rational judgment in regards to his sexual acts. Look at the posts his friends and family created after hearing about his death. My big brother, the funniest guy in any room you walked in, an unforgettable pillar in my life. Literally watched you grow up. I'm beyond lost for words. 15 years you've been my brother. I keep crying because of all the memories we had together. How did a guy so loved by his community with a wife and kids ever get to the point where he would consider doing what he did? This is the end result of adult content addiction. And if you find that you are struggling with this ever growing trend of edging and gooning, please get professional help. We need.
It's not funny, but I'm struggling with edging and gooning. That's crazy. We are not living in a real place right now. 2025 is not real. This isn't real. It's crazy. I'm trying to not use crazy as much, but like it's actually so ridiculous. Like my mind, I think like also like okay, because I'm also neurodivergent, my mind has a really difficult time wrapping itself around these things because it doesn't have any sense or logic into it. Like yes, I understand like the science behind it. I understand everything that this man is saying, right? But it doesn't make sense in my head. My head refuses to think that this is really a thing. Like, oh, there's a bunch of kids that are gooners. They're suffering from edging and gooning. What? This is the reality though. You see, it's funny. Like seriously, please seek professional help. If you or a loved one has been taken over by edging or gooning, please seek professional help. But also, that is the funniest thing ever. And I don't know, like, okay, well, we'll finish this and then I want to talk about like, what do we think the solution is? Start thinking about it.
Need to start talking more openly and honestly about how hooked these kids are getting on some really weird shit on the internet. We need tighter restrictions around adult content, and we need to stop promoting and encouraging degeneracy by no longer engaging with those sorts of posts. Otherwise, I'm afraid there's only going to be more and more stories similar to the acts that Nautica Malone committed that day. It was recently revealed a couple days ago that Nautica had left a note for his wife just before he decided he wanted to pass away. And this is what it read. I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake and I don't think I'll be able to face you and the babies. I don't know why I drove through like that. To all my family and friends, I love you and I'm so sorry. I love my kids and family. My mental has been fucked up. I am not a monster. Please forgive me. Whoa, heavy topic by the end there. I know. But I have made videos regarding.
Okay, and shout out to Cole Hastings for that video. I'll give you a like. But that's I don't know what or if there would ever be like a real solution because I think that it would take a lot of different working parts to solve anything, to make anything better. May he be up in heaven doing all the gooning he wants now. Yeah, I can't say where he is, but hopefully he gets to goon day and night. I don't know. He can't. But yeah, like okay, so I wanted to know like what do you guys think the solution is? Is there a solution? Is porn just like the main problem? Is it porn and that's it? Like we just get rid of porn and then all the kids are fine. Or what? Because to me it's like it's not that simple at all. Like not even close. Because I don't think porn is inherently bad, but I also think that it can just lead to a lot of things. But it's about the person. But that's like anything almost. That's like a lot of things in this world where it's like it all really comes down to you as a person, your foundation, your mental health, your starting mental health, right? So like, I smoke, I smoke weed, and there's a lot of people that smoking weed really negatively impacts their mental health. For me, I'm like, oh, I can smoke and then I have energy and the motivation to do things. I used to like smoke and then go work out. Like it literally gave me that motivation. And like, yes, there was still like the come down from that had an effect, but you know, because I regulated myself. Like I made sure like I don't smoke all day every day. I would only smoke before bed or before a workout. I went down to like, you know, the strain that I was smoking to make sure that like this strain I know is going to make me feel this way so I can use it for the workouts. This strain is going to make me feel this way so I can use it before bed. Things like that. You know, I had to make sure that I was in the right place to do that and to make it work in my life. That's not everyone. Not everyone is doing what they need to do before they get into certain things, and then it can lead them, right? Because I don't think that weed is addictive, but I think that if you are struggling mentally, if you have bad mental health or you want to numb a lot of stuff, you might start with weed and then you could possibly go to other things because weed will numb you. But you have to make sure you're good for that. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's the same thing. Like taking away porn doesn't fix the issue. Make sex work legal. But like how do we I guess like okay, my question then is like how does legalizing sex work all for it because like yeah it would be safer for especially like even the workers, right? But how does it stop and prevent like these kids, you know, like that guy said in the video, someone's 12 years old and they're watching hentai. That's I didn't even know what hentai was at 12. I didn't even know that existed at 12. You know what I mean? Like how what's the next step after that? I think it's the systems that push content that drives interactions for monetization. Snap, 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 snaps all around. Yeah, that's absolutely like a big, 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 big problem. And especially like they don't care. Like we know you know, Facebook, Meta was sued for their increase of um content that showed EDs and they were showing it to teenage girls, specifically targeting teenage girls. And then they saw that the more time that they spent on the app, that their EDs got significantly worse, right? So we've had this data for at least 15 years, but they don't care. They don't care. And also, like, oh, this is the other thing because it's so layered. There's so many issues because even when, remember when Meta was looked at and taken to the Supreme Court, I think it was that they went to. Anyways, but then it was like all these old people don't know what they're talking. None of them knew what they were talking about. They didn't even know how to question. Like they didn't like. Okay, they'd be like, oh, you know, you have to be a certain age to use Instagram. But people use burners. They're like, what's a burner? If I have to explain the very basics, the very foundation of everything, I can't have a conversation with you on how to improve something because you don't know enough about it. And we have all these old people that are in charge of all of these laws and making the rules for everyone, that they have no idea what's actually going on in the world. They have no idea how these platforms actually operate and how people are using them. Uh, I don't think I don't think the attractive women are the problem because it's simple business, right? It's you have supply and demand. If there's no demand, there's not going to be a supply. People don't just make things knowing that no one wants it, right? So it is a cycle, right? They both go hand in hand because in order to sell, you need someone to buy it, and in order to be a buyer, you need to have someone to sell that's going to sell it to you. But I think that it's actually harmful to blame the people that are making the content versus the people that when the people that are making the content, because before OF even was a thing, people still had corn addictions. Like that still existed, right? OF has really only been around, at least I remember hearing about it in like 2020, maybe around there. I can't really remember. Maybe a little before that. I don't know. What is time? I can't even believe 2020 was 5 years ago. That's crazy. But I just think that a lot of times people will blame sex workers specifically or OF content creators. And it's like, okay, but OF content creators aren't the ones that are the like controlling all of the platforms. They're not controlling it. And it's also wild because a lot of the people that are very anti OF are the same people that support them. So it's like there's I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Oops, I told on myself. Yeah, you are the it's you. So you go fix that. Go have a conversation with yourself, Ahmed, and we'll be here if you need support for your edging and gooning. Not like that though. Like that's all you. I mean, like I know therapists and stuff. Yeah. Um, being a parent is harder than it used to be. People have to work unnatural hours just to pay the rent. Yeah, and that's in that like literally everything fuels into it. I always tell my mom, like she'll always be like, you just hate capitalism. I'm like, yes. Capitalism is the root cause of everything. It is the root cause of everything that is wrong right now with our society. Because when we prioritize money over people, people are never going to make the right decisions for other people. They're not worried about the children for real. They're not worried about protecting minors, protecting the vulnerable. They're not worried about keeping corn locked up and making sure that only people that are of age can have access to it. They're worried about money. They're always going to be worried about money because there's never enough. It's never like, okay, well, once we get to this amount, we're good, right? We can just stop and then we can actually care about the people. No, they don't care and they never will care. And we will always have these type of issues because every single thing, every level where there's an issue, it adds to it and it helps the issues stay alive, right? And then we turn on each other. So then it's like, oh, it's a sex worker's fault. It's women's fault. It's, I don't know, whoever else's fault, And it's capitalism. It's capitalism's fault. Meta has a lot of parental controls, which is good, but more can be done. Yeah, they do. They definitely have gotten better over the years. I just don't think that they really care. I think it's like kind of like they do enough to make people happy enough so that they don't have to always get crapped on and to be looked at as the bad guy. Because then they can say, well, we have this feature where, if you're a child, that you have to be able to do this to prove, like they have whatever they have in place, like YouTube kids and all these things, like they have these things in place and it's really for the parents to make sure that they're doing it. They're making sure that they're using these control settings and that they have access to like their kids iPads and phones to make whatever, right? But then some parents don't. Like that's another thing, like no one can control parents. I can't control someone's parent and be like, you have to do this, like your kid's not going to be okay, your kid's going to have a hard time or they're going to struggle if you don't do this. Like if a parent doesn't want to, they don't want to. And unfortunately, because there's so many other people out there that have kids and they're in very horrible situations, there's only so much resources, right? There's only so many resources that can go out to help kids that are not being taken care of and not being fed and not being clothed and not being all this stuff. So someone being like, well, that person's parents let them go on YouTube without any restrictions, no one cares. No one cares about that because there are other kids that have like they're not getting food or they're being harmed. Um it's just really difficult. Yeah, there's a serious crisis with parental supervision too, and it's mainly due to them having to work too many jobs and they're tired. And that's the other thing. I'm not like blaming parents all the time. It is their responsibility, but at the end of the day, like they are human and there's only so many hours of the day in the day, right? And if you are lucky to have like the other parent with you, awesome, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are doing it by themselves. I know. Actually, I saw something the other day on Pinterest that made me think of that. I was like, oh my gosh, Odd Future Wolfgang, gang, gang. I was obsessed. Oh my gosh. And I worked at Hot Topic. Oh my gosh. I think I probably spent 99% of my paycheck when I was working at Hot Topic But I looked good. That's all that mattered. The crazy thing is that OF isn't even just for it's taken over. And actually, on Twitter, they often like I I think like Twitter is probably one of the few places that OF can advertise on. So they often I'll see ads for OF all the time and it'll be someone cooking. or doing like exercise workouts and training someone. And I'm like, it's sad because even for myself, I've thought about like, well, if like the payout is better on OF, I'm just gonna blow my nose real quick. I already have like, I like to argue with people. I can't lie. I love a good argument, especially when I'm right. I love it. And I will argue with someone, and already they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna listen to a girl that has OF," and I'm like, "I don't." Like, you literally are just pulling that out of thin air. Like, you just pulled that out of nowhere. But it's already like used as an insult for women, and I'm like, the average person is not making content. First of all, the average person is not even making content. Forget about sexual content. They're not making content. The average person is not making videos of themselves. So, like, for that to just be like the first insult, that obviously these are misogynists that are saying these things, but they really think that it like does something. Ahmed, we're here for you. Okay. And yeah, well, that's all I can say. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got my first phone at like 16, I think. And even then, like it was like, pressing the button 10 times to spell out one word. Like we were not on online. But I grew up online and I loved being online. I learned coding. Like I was 13, 14, coding my own T dot wire page. If anyone's from Toronto, they know that website. Um, and just like, and even like I was on like IMVU and making clothing and selling it and then getting real money from PayPal. Like I was an online kid. The Sims, like could no one tell me nothing. Okay. I grew up online, and it's sad that this is now what the internet is because I loved spending a lot of time, and I think that like I really learned a lot from being online a lot. And like yeah, there was situations where it wasn't the best. It wasn't the safest. There was situations where like, I was 13, 14 and like there's 20-year-olds talking to me. Um so not great. But when I removed that, I'm like, wow, I learned so many good skills that like I got a job in tech without knowing, like without ever going to school for anything regarding that because I grew up knowing how to just like do things online. So it's like there's so many benefits from like being able to access the internet, and I think even at a younger age to be able to access the internet, but then there's so many people that are willing to, or not willing, but they're wanting to take advantage of children. And now with social media, like we didn't have social media how it is now. Now everyone is so accessible. It's always there. You can always have access to people. And I think that's like where it gets scarier. Need to start an OnlyFans so that men with segregation kinks can hear me tell them how pathetic they are. Yeah. Actually, should I share a story? Should I share that story? I don't know. Okay, one time, not even one time, recently, someone that like I used to we used to date. We went to school together and then like many years passed and then we started talking again. Anyways, and like it just didn't work out and I was just like, whatever, you're annoying. So we stopped talking. Then recently, they reached out to me and they have a girlfriend, right? So I knew that they had a girlfriend. So when they reached out to me, I was like, "Why are you messaging me?" Right? But I didn't say anything about their girlfriend because I'm not stupid, and they are. So, anyways, long story short, essentially they were just like wanting me to just tell them how shitty they are as a person. And I was like, "Oh, I can do that easy, like all day." But they also didn't tell me, like they didn't know that I knew that they had a girlfriend. So I would just like I was like kind of like laying traps out for them and getting them to say certain things to let me know if they let me to confirm for me that I knew that they had a girlfriend. If this makes sense, I don't know. Anyways, I ended up getting about $400 in 2 days just because like he was so friggin' pathetic. And that actually made me think like, maybe this is my calling because I really enjoyed telling him how pathetic he was and I didn't have to show him anything. But then I was like, you have a girlfriend, like that's so disgusting. I felt bad for her, you know? So I don't know, maybe we should all get into the degradation because I could definitely yell at some people for money. Anyways, sorry, that was such a side point. Um, it is an entire job. Yeah, I know some people that do that, like professionally, not just online, but in their everyday life. Like they have a studio and all of that, and I'm like, they make very good money doing it. And who doesn't like being mean to someone, especially if it's deserved? How often can I goon before I should consider professional help? Only one. Okay, so the good thing is, Ahmed, you're only at one screen. So you are actually probably catching this earlier on. So um, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should seek professional help, therapy, seek therapy. Okay. Um, I don't know if anyone has resources. I don't know about gooning. I don't know. Are there gooning resources? Like, can you just go to a regular therapist and be like, I'm a gooner? And they're like, come, let's talk. Or are they going to be like, what's that? Because I'd be like, okay. But we are hoping that you do get better. Sending you love. Trisha, do it. Do it. Okay. There's also a video I watched recently about posting your content on what's it called? Cornhub versus posting it on YouTube and then looking at like the click-through rate and all of that to see how much money you can make. And like this woman was just wearing a bra and she was teaching some kind of science thing, I can't remember. But her click-through rate on Pornhub was like way better. Like she made $1,000 off of the video versus on YouTube she only made like $350. So I'm like, maybe we all need to get on Cornhub, like and OF because they're paying out better. But that reminded me of that. It's like put your clothes back on. But you know that's the thing. They probably were still masturbating to her teaching them. You know, like they definitely were actually. Yeah. Look at Gordon Ramsay. Yes, actually, he's made an entire career for himself yelling at people. King, a true king. Michael Jackson. Oh gosh. Okay. So I think that was the end of the gooning. I can't believe it's at like 2 hours already. I was like planning to just stream for 2 hours, but we can just watch this one video really quickly. And then maybe go into like a deeper dive of the situation next time we stream. There's also like a few other topics that I would love to cover with you guys, but I'm a little afraid because it's like my guilty pleasures. And I know for a fact that um some people would be like, you watch this? Like, what is wrong with you? But I am who I am. I know Chantal Chantal knows what it is. Chantal knows I brought Chantal into this world with me of Girl World. I don't know if anyone else outside of Chantal and I know Girl World. Girl, GORLW, or what am I? Wow, I can't even spell. GORLD, world. Yeah, I that it's going to take like a lot of streams, I think, to really get people to understand what that is. But I feel like we can figure it out eventually. But maybe we'll just start with like more tame or I don't know. Is Gooming tame or more tame than Girl World? What? Thank you. Oh my gosh. You know what? Like I was very, very nervous about this stream in general. And I was just like, I don't know, because like I just get so awkward and uncomfortable. And then I get in my head about things and I'm like, what if I just nothing like my brain just goes empty and then I'm just like frozen and I don't know where the end stream button is. Like I literally had a nightmare that I couldn't find the end stream button. So silly. Um but I'm so happy that like sorry, I thought I heard something. I thought someone was opening my front door. It's like a gooner's coming for me. Sorry. But I'm so happy that, you know, so many of you came and so many of like my friends and people that I like that have been supporting me for so long. It makes me feel so much more comfortable to be here because it's like, you know, I see your names in the chat and I'm like, oh, like I love you. Not the ghost of Nautica. Please. Oh my gosh. Listen, Nautica, do not come here. Go visit the Goon boys, the Gooners. Leave me alone. You are not welcome here. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you guys so, so, so much. Okay. Andrea, really good. Okay. I'm not sure what that was that in response to someone or me? I can't remember. Um, you started with Gooning, girl will be a piece of cake. It's just so difficult to get into it, but it's once you're into it, you're locked in. It's one of those things that like it might take a minute for you to be like, what is this? But as soon as you're into it, you're locked in. I mean, like there are some times when I'm like, this is like the most boring yet entertaining content I've ever seen in my life. And I think it's mostly because like with Girl World, um think of it like TLC, like how TLC puts people that you've never really seen their lifestyles from all different walks of life and they put them on TV, right? And you get a like glimpse into their life. This is that, but it's these people themselves willingly putting themselves on the internet and live streaming their lives every day, and you're just like, these are real people. I can't believe that these are real people. So we'll get into it, but we had to start with the Gooning. The ghost of Gooner's past. Okay, let's let's watch this video. I did want to talk about Kanye. Okay, let me know. Do you guys want to watch the video on Kanye? Do we want to talk about Kanye or do we want to just ignore Kanye forever? Essentially, I was just going to say like I wanted to kind of draw comparisons to like Kanye and Gooning because over the last few years, Kanye has been extremely vocal about his dislike of corn and how he thinks that corn is ruining the minds of young men. And while I agree, it's also very interesting that a lot of the people that say that, they are the ones that also participate in it, want to make it, buy it, are addicted to it, like enforce it on other people. You know, so it's like I I don't know. Um, Kanye is obviously like he has a lot more than a corn issue. Like he's not a regular gooner. He actually might be the king goon. Is it goon? King gooner? Um, he might be. But especially with everything, I guess like I'm on the fence of talking about him because it's like I don't really want to give him any kind of like spotlight or anything, even on a small channel like this. Like I don't think he needs any more. He needs less. Um, but then also it's like I think he needs it's interesting because like, you know, there's so many women in Hollywood that have been or are currently in conservatorships, and then Kanye just gets to roam free. That's the craziest thing to me. That's like he needs someone to actually be in charge of his life and what he's doing because um, you guys are I don't like you guys are actually scaring me. Now I might actually start having nightmares of Nautica. I'm just gonna see that big ass smile and then instant frown. You need to leave. That's gonna be my dream. You need to leave. Oh gosh, I can see it already. I don't want it. I don't want it. Ghostbusters, like Goonbusters. Like, yeah, these are my people, I guess. You guys are my people. I had a dream last night that Kim's new boyfriend body slammed him onto a table at an outside dining. I mean, I could see that happening. I'm surprised Pete never did anything to him. But, it's Pete. He was kind of. Anyways, goon of all goons. Okay, no one's saying anything about Kanye, so let's forget Kanye. Let's forget Kanye and wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Maybe I can find us like a cute like palette cleanser because it's been a little much. Let me see if there's my entire YouTube is just horrible things. So it might be really hard. Let me find a video of my favorite animal in the world. Okay. We just watch like a little bit of this. Pete's, you dated Pete. Are you lying to me right now? Are you lying to me right now? I can't even tell if you're lying to me right now. Like you dated Pete for real? Yeah, he got rid of all of his tattoos. Let's see. What's his last name? I keep wanting to say Pete Wentz, and that's not the right Pete. Pete, what's his name? Why did Joel Olstein come up? Davidson. No, Davidson? What's his name? Davidson. Pete Davidson. Okay. I think he looks really creepy now. Yeah, thank you. I made it. Not Pete Wentz. Huh. I need to figure out like how to use this platform thing, StreamYards, blah, to use it better because I know that there's a better way to use it that's easier, but can I just open this here? Of course not. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not happy with this at all. Why is he laying like that? He looks like a fish. Trisha, can you confirm if you dated him? For real? It's a no from me. I think he just like I don't know. Maybe I like men that look sickly. I think he looked better sickly, you know. Right, Pete Wentz. I'm glad it's not just me. But I'm happy for him. He seems to be like happier for himself and healthier and yeah. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. He's so racially ambiguous. Yeah, actually, the first like few years I thought he was like some kind of mixed or something, but I was like, oh, you're just white. Good for him though, He got rid of all of them. Also, you know how painful that is? Tattoo removal. Like I have a couple tattoos I would like to get redone and they're just like too dark. So I would have to like get it removed or like go to an artist that's like extremely good at cover-ups. And when I was like watching all those videos, I was just like, I can't get it removed. I'm a bitch. Sorry. Like I can't. I hate pain. You almost became Mrs. Pete Davidson. Okay, we have to talk later because I feel like you've lived 1,000 lives. Like, you always tell me something and I'm like, yeah, I like that though. I like when my man looks a little tired, you know? I like him to look a little like, oh, he might fall over. He might pass out. Get him some water. I like men that look like that. I also like men that look very, very healthy, you know. But this definitely was like my style of man, especially in my 20s. Oh my gosh. See? The ones that get it, get it. Sometimes you just want a man to look a little malnourished. Just a little bit. Like, oh, you need me to take care of you? Google Pete Wentz. Okay, let's see what Pete Wentz is saying. What is he saying these days? Is he with oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. He's not married to Hillary Duff. Who's Hillary Duff married to? What does he look like now? I don't want to see from back in the day. Oh. Oh, interesting. Was not expecting that. That's some long hair. I don't like blonde. I don't like blondes. Doesn't do it for me. I hate a blonde. Sorry. Who's half black? Pete Wentz? Wait, Pete Davidson is fully white and Pete Wentz is half black? Actually, now that you say it, that could be a half black man. I don't know. A little anemic. A little anemic. I like my men a little anemic. He's African. Wait, Pete Wentz is black? Wow. Welcome, Black King. Happy Black History Month. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was not aware. Pete Davidson, get out of here. We don't like you. That's crazy. He's half black. Okay. Well, I mean, what's today? Yeah. Oh, I guess no. Never mind. I take back Happy Black History Month for the first 15 days. It's over. So. But anyways. Mm-hmm. Exactly. He has Davidson, I think, has that to make him look like that. Yeah, I think he does. The bad blonde beach is the man. It is. It is. And I don't he's an attractive man. It's just I don't and like you're going gray. I don't know. I love when a man just goes gray. Go gray. It's like when you're balding, just shave it, you know? And leave your hair black maybe. I don't know. How old is he? He looks old. No offense. That's so mean. He looks old. 45. It's a little bit of a harsh 45. But listen, I'm sure he's done a lot of living, like too much. So he got till Valentine. Yeah. Wrap it up. Your time, like, I'm sorry, this man can't celebrate Black History with us. Like, this one, possibly, you know? I can see it. I can see it a little more here, too. He is giving mixed here. But yeah, that other man, I don't know where that photo went, but that other one, no, he can't celebrate with us. Sorry. 14th day trial has expired. I could actually, now that you say that other one, let's go back. I don't know where that photo is. I hate Diplo, by the way. I hate that man. But this one, I really don't like this photo. This photo really is creepy, in my opinion. But okay, I think we're going to wrap it up. But I don't know, maybe I'll come back Friday. Maybe we'll come back Friday. Also, I am because I want to stream more, so I want to be more active in my Discord so that we can talk drop videos you want to watch or topics that you want me to like research and put together to show on stream. So yeah, if you want to join the Discord, I have it. I have a link for it somewhere. I think it's on my Instagram, but I'll post it in my Instagram story, and I'll actually post it in the YouTube community because I don't know. I'm sure some of you are here from YouTube specifically. I know there's a couple, and then there's most of you are from Instagram. So, but we can keep in contact that way so that we can, talk more about like things that we want to talk about and cover. And I think, I think I'll be back Friday. I think so. But thank you guys so much for being here, for staying the 2 hours. It's wild. I mean, even in Discord, I think the most that we had joined for streaming. Sorry, my nose literally will not stop running, and also my nose ring keeps going crooked, so it's bothering me. But I think in Discord, like the most we've ever had streaming was like 10 or 15 people, like around there. And today we got up to like 24 people, which is like, if there was 24 people in my room right now, I would die. So that's great. So I really appreciate you guys for being here. Oh, let me take this Pete Wentz comment off of the stream. Yeah, we'll leave this one up as we leave. Diplo. But yes, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Love you. Thank you. Yay. Bye. Thank you guys. Oh, I don't know where my outro is. Not on the ball. Not on the ball. Here we go. I love this one. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, if you are not subscribed, subscribe. And like the stream. Like the stream before you go. Okay? Like the stream or else. Or else Nautica will come and get you. So like it. Okay, love you. Bye.
Never made it.